Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, a mind perspective. Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy is the primary genetic killer of children in the world, which is surprising because it is relatively unheard of. Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy, or DMD, is caused by mutations in the gene that encode for dystrophin. Because of this mutation, the dystrophin protein typically found in skeletal muscles cannot be produced. Dystrophin, along with its associated protein complex, function as a bridge that link the intracellular actin skeleton of the skeletal myofiber to the extracellular matrix. Without dystrophin, muscle cell sarcolemas will lose stability and wilt, causing eventual necrosis of muscle tissue in affected individuals. Due to the disease's presentation of progressive muscle weakness, people affected by DMD lose their ability of independent walking at 10 years of age and unfortunately pass away due to cardiac and respiratory failure during their 20s. However, recent improvements of the management of DMD with respect to corticosteroid procedures, access to respiratory interventions, proactive heart monitoring, and orthopedic strategies have prolonged the mean age of survival to a range of 23 to 27.8 years. Despite the fact that we have been extremely progressive in finding treatments for Duchenne in a purely pathological standpoint, there are many other ways this disease takes a toll on an affected person and people close to that person. Children growing up with DMD are usually recorded with deficits in specific cognitive skills, in addition to the physical limitations that the disease inherently brings. This detrimental combination enables affected children to become particularly high risk with regards to developing neurobehavioral disorders, anxiety, and depression. The difficulty of coping with the diagnosis, as well as fatigue, family stress, and side effects of the medications can all play a part in damaging the affected person's psychosocial health. In addition, psychosocial detriments often reach the caregivers of children with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. 70% of caregivers were recorded as having anxiety and depression in a 2016 study. A worldwide survey based on DMD care has revealed that the largest discrepancy between provided clinical treatments and published recommendations for Duchenne treatments is in fact psychosocial therapy. The stigma of mental health not being as important as physical health is clearly shown in this statistic. Expeditious actions need to be executed in order to make these therapies more financially and physically available to patients and caregivers. At a familial perspective, there are many ways in which parents and families can promote and encourage psychosocial health in children and young adults with Duchenne. Talk to your child about Duchenne if you are a parent. Educate his friends, which may make them more inclusive and protective. Educate school personnel as well as other adults in his life about Duchenne. It is also important to help your child be as independent as possible and don't be overprotective. Encourage him to participate in social activities. Consider dogs or pets to promote independence and give emotional support. Make sure you care about your own stress and emotional health, which will be a good model for your child. Be positive and optimistic yet realistic. And most importantly, seek help when you need it. You're not alone. Project Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy.com gives us a few learning and behavioral facts to remember that include many psychological aspects of the disease. Number 1. People with Duchenne may have a higher chance of having psychosocial issues. Number 2. Healthcare is not complete without psychosocial care. Number 3. At least once a year, a healthcare professional should evaluate mental, behavioral, and emotional health. Number 4. The best way to manage psychosocial problems is to prevent them or identify them early and start treatments. And number 5. There are many different therapies and medications available that may help. As much as progress should be supported in finding a once-and-for-all cure for Duchenne, we must keep in mind that DMD negatively affects people in a psychological way. Psychological health is as important as physical health because psychological health includes emotional adjustment, learning and success in school, overall behavior, and relationships. These are all necessary to be able to maintain a good quality of life. One way to encourage psychological health is through a community. The Muscular Dystrophy Association provides many support groups all over the United States. Their website allows people to find local support groups based on their area code. Support groups allow DMD-affected individuals and their families to meet and talk privately with other families sharing the same experience. It is important to know that you are not alone. In conclusion, it is important for patients with DMD and their caregivers to keep in mind the importance of mental health and to seek professional help when needed. We are increasing the quantity of life for people with DMD, and we must also make sure that their quality of life is improving as well. Thank you.